Book of Enoch Chapter 18. I then surveyed the receptacles of all the winds, perceiving that they contributed to adorn the whole creation, and to preserve the foundation of the earth. I surveyed the stone, which supports the corners of the earth. I also beheld the four winds, which bear up the earth, and the firmament of heaven. And I beheld the winds occupying the exalted sky, arising in the midst of heaven and of earth, and constituting the pillars of heaven. I saw the winds which turn the sky, which cause the orb of the sun and of all the stars to set, and over the earth I saw the winds which support the clouds. I saw the path of the angels. I perceived at the extremity of the earth the firmament of heaven above it. Then I passed on towards the south, where burnt, both by day and night, 6 mountains formed of glorious stones, 3 towards the east, and 3 towards the south. Those which were towards the east were of a variegated stone, one of which was of marguerite, and another of antimony. Those towards the south were of a red stone. The middle one reached to heaven like the throne of God, a throne composed of alabaster, the top of which was of sapphire. I saw, too, a blazing fire hanging over all the mountains. And there I saw a place on the other side of an extended territory, where waters were collected. I likewise beheld terrestrial fountains, deep in the fiery columns of heaven. And in the columns of heaven I beheld fires, which descended without number, but neither on high, nor into the deep. Over these fountains also I perceived a place which had neither the firmament of heaven above it, nor the solid ground underneath it, neither was there water above it, nor anything on wing, but the spot was desolate. And there I beheld 7 stars, like great blazing mountains, and like spirits entreating me. Then the angel said, "This place, until the consummation of heaven and earth, will be the prison of the stars, and the host of heaven. The stars which roll over fire are those which transgressed the commandment of God before their time arrived, for they came not in their proper season. Therefore was he offended with them, and bound them, until the period of the consummation of their crimes in the secret year."
In the Book of Enoch, Chapter 18, we can derive several teachings and insights about the natural world, celestial phenomena, divine order, and the consequences of disobedience. Here are some teachings that can be derived from this chapter. God's creation and order. The chapter emphasizes the intricate design and interplay of the elements in creation, such as the winds, stones, and firmament. This highlights the wisdom and artistry of God in crafting the universe. This aligns with verses like Psalm chapter 104 verses 24 to 30, which speak of God's creative power and the harmony of his works. Angelic roles and paths. The chapter mentions the path of the angels, implying that angels have specific roles and assigned courses of action. This idea corresponds to biblical passages like Psalm chapter 103 verses 20 to 21 and Hebrews chapter 1 verse 14, which discuss the service and roles of angels in carrying out God's will. Divine judgment and consequences. The description of stars as being imprisoned due to their transgressions serves as a reminder of the consequences of disobedience. This echoes the biblical concept of divine judgment, where even celestial beings are held accountable for their actions. This aligns with passages like 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 4 and Jude chapter 1 verse 6, which refer to fallen angels being kept in chains. God's sovereignty. The description of the stars transgressing their proper time and being offended by God underscores his sovereignty over time and creation. This concept is reinforced in passages like Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verses 1 to 8, which speaks of God's appointed times, and Job 38 to 41, where God questions Job about his control over creation. Symbolism of mountains and stones. The imagery of mountains and stones as significant elements in the chapter can symbolize stability, permanence, and divine presence. This is reminiscent of verses like Psalm chapter 18 verse 2 and Psalm chapter 95 verses 1 to 2, where God is likened to a rock and a mountain. The role of fire and light. The chapter references blazing fires and stars, suggesting a connection between fire and the divine presence. Fire often symbolizes purification, judgment, and God's holiness in the Bible. This is seen in passages like Exodus chapter 3 verses 2 to 6 and Hebrews chapter 12 verse 29. Obedience and timing. The mention of stars not coming in their proper season and transgressing highlights the importance of obedience to God's timing and commands. This aligns with passages like Ecclesiastes chapter 8 verse 6 and Galatians chapter 6 verse 9, which emphasize the significance of doing the right thing at the right time. Prison of the stars. The idea of the stars being imprisoned due to their disobedience emphasizes the concept of accountability and the consequences of rebellion against God's commands. This reflects the biblical teaching of accountability and the reality of spiritual warfare, where disobedient beings are subject to judgment and confinement. This aligns with passages like Revelation chapter 20 verse 10, which speaks of the devil being cast into the lake of fire. Desolation and judgment. The description of a desolate place without firmament or water suggests a state of isolation and judgment. This echoes biblical imagery of desolation and separation from God's presence as a consequence of sin. Examples include passages like Isaiah chapter 34 verses 10 to 17, which depict desolation and judgment upon the wicked. Divine revelation. Enoch's vision and interaction with the angel serve as an example of divine revelation and communication. This highlights the way God communicates with humans through visions and angels, as seen in numerous biblical accounts like Ezekiel's visions, Ezekiel chapter 1, and angelic appearances, Luke chapter 1 verses 26 to 38. Symbolism of thrones and gems. The mention of thrones and precious gems, such as alabaster and sapphire, can symbolize the grandeur and majesty of heavenly realms. This reflects biblical themes of God's glory and the heavenly throne room, as described in Revelation chapter 4. Heavenly symbolism. The description of the firmament and heavenly phenomena like winds and clouds carries symbolic significance. It can remind us of God's transcendence and the heavenly realm. This connects to passages like Isaiah chapter 55 verses 8 to 9 and Colossians chapter 3 verses 1 to 2, which emphasize the higher ways of God and the focus on heavenly things. Divine punishment and mercy. The notion of stars being imprisoned serves as a reminder of both God's justice and His mercy. While some stars transgressed and faced consequences, there's an implication that God still allows for a period until the consummation for possible redemption. This reflects the balance between divine judgment and God's offer of salvation, as seen in passages like Isaiah chapter 55 verse 7 and 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 9. The power of prayer and entreaty. The description of stars as spirits entreating highlights the concept of communication and intercession between celestial beings and humanity. This underscores the importance of prayer and the interconnectedness of the spiritual realm with the earthly realm. This aligns with verses like James chapter 5 verse 16 and 1 Timothy chapter 2 verses 1 to 4, which emphasize the power of prayer and intercession. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the captivating teachings of Enoch chapter 18. We hope you've gained valuable insights into divine order, cosmic symbolism, and the intricate design of creation. If you found this video enlightening, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with fellow seekers of truth. Remember to subscribe and tap the notification bell to stay connected with our channel for more thought-provoking content. We'd love to hear your thoughts and reflections on the teachings we've uncovered. Drop your comments below, and let's continue the conversation. For more enriching explorations of biblical themes, mystical insights, and spiritual growth, explore our playlist and discover a wealth of knowledge waiting for you. Thank you for being a part of our community of curious minds and spiritual seekers. Until next time, keep seeking truth, expanding your horizons, and embracing the beauty of the cosmos. Wishing you blessings and enlightenment on your journey. See you in the next video.